We are glad to see you again on our channel. And today we have a review of the film in which a meteorologist arrives on an island in the ocean to work. However, he discovers something strange and is soon drawn into life on the island, about which only the lighthouse keeper, Gruner, knows. We are usually not so far from those we hate. That is why we will never really be close to those we love. Friend, a meteorologist, tells us that he and his crew broke anchor 67 days ago in September 1914. He's standing on deck smoking a cigarette. A male captain comes to him and points to the island in the South Atlantic where they are approaching. The man also says that the first thing he was asked when he decided to go to sea, "What are you running from?" Friend goes to this island to observe the weather for 1 year. Friend, along with things, captain, and others, landed on the island. Friend notes that there are no birds on the island, and the captain says that it is strange that the meteorologist did not come out to them. Friend and the captain enter the house of the previous weather warden and see that no one has lived in the house for a long time. Friend behind the scenes says that it is noble of the captain that he accompanied him to the land, though nothing obliged him. Friend also notes that the captain treated him with the courtesy of the executioner, and if he could do anything for Friend, he would do it. Friend, men notice the inscription on the stone, "Gruner is the owner of this fountain." They head for the lighthouse and start knocking on the door. Friend knocks on the door with his shoulder and opens it. He and the captain go inside. They go upstairs and find the sleeping man in the room, Gruner. The captain wakes him up and asks where the previous meteorologist is. Gruner replies that typhus killed him. Gruner also asks the captain if he has tobacco or vodka. The captain is only interested in where the remains of a meteorologist are if he has lost his life. Gruner says the meteorologist got out somehow and never came back. The captain offers Friend to return with them, but he refuses. Similarly, Friend refuses the gun, which the captain lends to him. He thanks the man for everything. The captain advises him to eat well and work hard, to be in business. Gruner. Friend has 12 months to live alone, as an exile, far from civilization. A monotonous and insignificant work is waiting for him. When it gets dark, Friend arranges his things, books, equipment. Then he opens up a desk shelf and finds another meteorologist's diary, a journal from 1913. The diary contains many drawings and notes, and between the pages is a picture of the girl signed as Mrs. Vigeland and the words of love. Next in the diary are strange drawings of animals and the inscription, "Darwin was wrong." In the morning, Friend goes outside and inspects the island, touching the shells. Then he sits on the rocks and works. He monitors the weather. He fills the diary of observations. Friend in binoculars looks at the lighthouse. There Gruner walks naked and does some exercises. In the evening, Friend sits in the house and looks out the window. Suddenly he starts to hear strange sounds, takes a lantern and goes to see what it is, thinking that it came Gruner. He sees a creature under the door, hits it. Friend hears more and more sounds, so he climbs and hides in the basement. He looks up through the floorboards and one creature comes close to him. Then Friend hits it with an iron thing. The next morning, Friend climbs out of the basement and immediately heads for the lighthouse. He starts banging on the door and screaming for Gruner to let him in. Gruner goes out onto the balcony and tells Friend that he should sail away. Friend goes to the house and starts to surround it with sharp sticks, grills, and everything. Folds around the house, all wooden and books, pours gasoline, nails the windows and doors. Friend also finds a rifle and a lot of ammunition in one of his boxes. Night comes. Friend is armed with a rifle. He sees the creatures coming and there are many of them. He shoots at all the places where he hears the sounds. But the creatures are everywhere, so Friend ignites what is stacked outside. The creatures run away from the fire, but the fire gets into the house. Friend, putting a blanket on himself, runs out into the street. It starts raining. The next morning, Friend goes to the house and sees that it was severely injured by fire. Friend heads to Gruner He waits outside with a rifle in his hand. Suddenly, the creature on the side attacks Friend. Friend already points his rifle at him, but Gruner appears nearby and points his weapon at Friend himself, telling him not to touch the creature. Friend tells him to put down the gun, and Gruner listens. He asks if the meteorologist has tobacco, alcohol, and ammunition. When Gruner learns that it is all there, and that there are still a lot of bullets, Gruner says that this creature is harmless and calls it a female creature to itself. Gruner and Friend go to the house. He asks how many creatures Friend has killed. Friend speculates that the previous meteorologist did not die of typhus, but Gruner abandoned him. Gruner says it's time. The men take the ammunition box and everything necessary and go to the lighthouse. The sun is setting. The next morning, Friend wakes up as a female creature is licking the blood on his arm. Gruner comes and asks if the pain has gone away. He says Friend has been asleep for days. Gruner counts the bullets and says it's a good arsenal. Friend looks at the creature and says that he has read about places where fish have developed completely independently, about ancient species surviving in isolation. Gruner gets up and says that there are devils in the quiet water. He also says he taught a lesson to the creature once. Gruner tells Friend that creatures are afraid of light. Friend asks him why he did not go by ship to the civilized world, to which he gets ridiculed and asks why Friend then escaped from this world. Friend says he will signal the next ship, to which Gruner replies that they are not there. Friend thinks that for the second time during a week, he needs to rebuild his life. All his things are burned, and there is nothing left of the previous life. In the evening, Gruner tells Friend to take the gun. They climb to the very top of the lighthouse. The creatures begin to advance. Gruner opens fire on them, and Friend is stunned and loses consciousness. The next morning, Gruner gets angry and tells Friend that he is drooling and useless. He tells Friend to bring water. Upon returning, Friend sees Gruner making love to a female creature. The three then sit and eat, and the female creature shares her food with Friend. Gruner says that Friend has one last chance. In the evening, they again face the balcony of the lighthouse. Gruner stands with Friend while he makes the first shot, then leaves the balcony and locks Friend outside, forcing him to fight off the creatures alone. Gruner himself sits inside listening, then falls asleep. In the morning, he goes out to the balcony and sees that Friend is alive, though covered in blood. Friend with Gruner came to so-called coexistence based on compromise. The creatures attack every night, and their attacks become more and more prolonged. Friend leaves the balcony at dawn and almost does not sleep. He does dirty work to keep him from getting kicked out of the lighthouse. Friend meditates to find out why he ended up on the island. He tried to find peace in nothingness, but faced a monster-infested hell. Friend with Gruner are talking. Friend suggests that the moans of the female creature lure the creatures here. Gruner pronounces that they are here invaders, which means the enemies of the creatures. It's the main thing. Gruner also says that he wants to exterminate them all. Friend thinks that his eyes have explored every surface of the island 1,000 times. At night on the balcony, Friend says that maybe they will not attack anymore, because there have been no attacks. Gruner says they are gathering in packs for the next attack and leaves Friend on patrol. In the afternoon, Friend speculates that he felt worse between bouts than during them. He notices changes in the behavior of the female creature. Friend does not understand how Gruner can sleep with one of the monsters they take life from. On another evening, playing chess, Friend speculates about the creature and that it is possible to make a discovery by introducing it to the world, but Gruner is angry. Friend puts him in checkmate. Gruner pronounces "cannot be," is blown up and says they forgot to turn on the light. They run out to the balcony, but the creatures are already crawling all over the lighthouse. Gruner is attacked by one creature, and he is badly injured. When Gruner and Friend realize that there are too many creatures, they leave the balcony and hold the door with their backs until dawn. In the morning, the girl creature licks the wound on Gruner's leg. Friend tells him that they will not survive another attack. Friend sees the ship on the horizon and wants to signal, but Gruner won't let him. He knocks the meteorologist to the ground, but the female creature intercedes for Friend. Gruner is angry and says no humans. Friend says he's just a loser, afraid to let go of his friends and take the lives of his enemies too. Friend hears Gruner bullying the female creature. He goes to collect the bones of whales and makes for the female creature a ship of bones. She takes Friend to an abandoned boat on the shore. Friend goes to Gruner and tells about the boat, and learns that Gruner knew about it. He also says that the boat will not help because of the cold, hypothermia, storm, and will be surely attacked by creatures. Gruner says that the boat is from a Portuguese ship. There was a storm and the ship crashed at night. Gruner says he did what he could, but no one could escape because of the creatures. He says it was smugglers carrying dynamite. A few crates washed up, but the dynamite got wet and went bad. Friend tells Gruner that he wants to dive to the ship. They need to get dynamite, climb into the boat, and go out to sea before the tide. Gruner replies that it is suicide and refuses. Gruner notices after a while that Friend is swimming with a female creature in the pool and becomes jealous. He comes to Friend and says that he has changed his mind and they should leave now. Friend instructs Gruner that if he pulls the rope once, all right. Twice, the load is fixed. 3 times, rescue. Friend dives deep into the diving suit. He fixes the load. Gruner lifts it onto the boat. Friend sees creatures in the water and emerges. By opening the dynamite boxes, Friend and Gruner see that the dynamite is dry and can be used. They lay dynamite around the lighthouse. Winter comes as far as possible in the southern latitudes. One day, Friend finds Gruner very frozen on the balcony. He sat there all night. For 3 weeks, no one came to them. Gruner is angry at the creature girl, saying that it was she who encouraged the creatures not to come, and Friend is protecting her. Gruner proposes an ambush. Open the door and lure them inside. Then Friend will meet them, and Gruner will detonate the detonator. Night falls. Friend stands on the stairs, and Gruner on the balcony forces the female creature to summon creatures. The lantern at the entrance goes out, and Friend comes to light it, when suddenly he is attacked by one of the creatures. He fends off and runs up. Gruner blows up dynamite. The next morning, Gruner kills those creatures that are injured. Friend sees one of the creatures' necklace and asks what they have done. Gruner takes the necklace and throws it into the sea. At night, Gruner tells Friend that he found a female creature when she became entangled in the net a few years ago and saved her life. They hear the cries of the creatures as if they mourn their loss. During the day, Friend draws a circle of stones on the beach and inside leaves a gift for the creatures. The next day, while Gruner sleeps, he finds a picture of him with his wife. Friend goes ashore and discovers there a small creature that holds his gift and then goes to the female creature. Gruner appears with a weapon. Friend asks not to shoot because the creatures want a truce. Gruner tells the female creature to go back to him, but she refuses. Gruner mutters that no one will leave him, no one will leave, but Gruner will go away. He runs to the lighthouse. Gruner shoots the baby creature with a missile and it loses his life. He fires more. The female creature desperately looks at Friend. Friend runs into the lighthouse and lashes out at Gruner. There is a fight between them. Gruner swings an axe, but Friend calls his real name, what was written in the diary, and says he is not the killer. Gruner gets up, pronounces love, and goes straight to the creatures. Friend closes the door behind him from the inside. After a while, the officers arrive on the ship and bring a new meteorologist. They mistake Friend for Gruner, the lighthouse keeper. And he does not tell the truth. He goes out onto the balcony and looks at the ship. The female creature hides behind the stones and then dives into the sea. This is Spanish, French, and American film Cold Skin, in the genres of horror, fantasy, action, thriller, directed by Xavier Jans.